about your team's energy and preparedness from the start of this one?
I thought we started okay the first few shifts, but I think it was pretty evident in just our puck play and structure, and I thought our energy was just a little bit low. I thought we just looked a little bit off today, a little bit tired, and you know, like I said, long travel back to Seattle and long travel here, so you know, we don't want to use it too much of an excuse, but we know we got a lot better than that, and we'll get our energy tomorrow and look at a few things and regroup.
Were you happy about the kind of chances that you guys did get, just kind of running into a hot goaltender? Did it not feel like they were that good of looks to you guys?
Yeah, I thought we had some decent looks. Their goalie played good. He made some big saves and some timely saves, and you know, you can always get to the inside a little bit more and create a little bit more. You know, if we had a little bit more energy, I think we might have been able to jump on a few rebounds and a couple of pucks that were laying there.
What do you think the Isles did that made it hard to just get some consistent forechecking pressure going?
Yeah, I think they reloaded hard. You know, they had pretty good gaps for the most part. Not a lot of space through the neutral zone, so we had to you know, chip a lot of pucks in, and you know, when we weren't getting on them quick enough, then we had to back check and just made it a little bit hard on ourselves. But they played a tight, solid game.
How does losing Andre right away impact the rest of the team in the game?
Yeah, it doesn't help, especially a player that caliber, important to our team, and you know, like I said, with the energy level not being where it usually is, and going down to 11 forwards makes it a little bit tough.
Does that throw things off a little bit then, as far as getting into the rhythm with your lines and everything else on the bench too?
Yeah, you got to juggle a little bit, but I mean, it happens to every team throughout a season. Obviously, it's not ideal, and you do have to make some adjustments, and but we can do a better job all around.
How about all the guys coming back? You had a bunch coming back from injury, including been away, including yourself, and you had one new guy joining the mix. I mean, how much does that affect a team's timing and some of the energy? Just getting back into sync with each other.
Yeah, just like I said, our game just looked a little bit off. I thought our passes and you know, our reads and just everything just looked a little bit not as aggressive as we usually are, and not as tight as we usually are, and we all know that.
I know you guys had practice yesterday, but you guys had been off for a while. Do you think that kind of factored into why you guys, you know, weren't in sync?
A little bit. I mean, like I said, you don't want to use it as an excuse. A lot of teams are in similar situations, but you know, it was, guys had long flights back home and then long flight here, and kind of a quick turnaround. But we, you know, we know what our game looks like when we're sharper.
Thanks, Jaden.
With a bunch of different line mates, so for me, not too much change. Just try and play the same way and try and help the team win.
How did you feel about your group's energy right from the start?
I wasn't there. I think maybe at the very beginning we had the jump, and then I don't know. I don't want to make any excuses, but I think we were half of a step off after the first 8 minutes of the game the whole night. Yeah, there's no excuses from us. I think we know we're better than that, and hopefully we can rebound with a quick win.
How much of a difference does it make when you have some of those early chances, you don't convert them, and then they come back down and score?
Yeah, you know, it definitely hurts your momentum, but I mean, Jonesy's bailed us out so many times in that same circumstance where we don't start great and we end up getting that goal. But you know, tonight we didn't get that for him, and the goalie was great for them, but there's no excuses again.
They seem to be really aggressive, capitalizing on loose pucks, battling for pucks, and gaining possession. Did you see that as a factor?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they have a lot of high-end caliber players, but at the end of the day, it's on us to box those guys out and recover pucks, and I think that's something that we do great, but definitely wasn't one of our strengths tonight.
What do you think would be the key in terms of the execution that was lacking tonight?
I don't know. I think we just got to prepare and focus a little bit better. I think, obviously, coming off that break, it was great, but give guys time to heal their bodies, but you know, this league is so good, you can't have any sort of 1% off, or you're not gonna win, especially against good teams. So I think you know, we definitely were a half a step off tonight, and hopefully a good practice will get us back right into shape.
Considering that they played last night, were you surprised with the amount of jump that they had?
Yeah, no, I honestly think the first 8 minutes we were kind of all over them, to be honest with you. So I thought it was good. I think it was a little bit of an advantage for them, honestly, to kind of get that game under their feet. I think maybe towards the end of the game, that's when I thought it would become a factor where it would become in our favor, because maybe they would be a little bit more tired from the back-to-back. But definitely getting to that mental state of being a hockey player is not easy to get into, and I think they had the advantage of getting into it last night. But for us, we still got to show up.
Dave, it looked like you guys got off to a good start, and then the jump seemed to dissipate as the period wore on. What did you see?
We really just we didn't sustain any tempo to our game. And you see that in a lot of areas. Most obvious, for me, without going back and breaking things down and getting too over analytical. We didn't track the puck. That breaks us down coming into our zone. There's time, there's space. We're not in spots, and then that leaks into if there's not an opportunity right off of that rush, that leaks into what you do in the D zone as well, where just too many mistakes that ended up in direct opportunities against.
Is that from the layoff, or is that too many guys coming back off injury that haven't played in a while? Does that impact it all?
And we were we looked like we had the effects of coming off of a break. We could not find a way to give ourselves energy. One goal might have been able to change a little bit of momentum, especially at 2-0. But we made two mistakes. Give them credit on a forward check for the third goal. That's a puck that we normally would expect to break out cleanly. We weren't able to do that. The fourth goal, they're more ready. They jump off of our one face-off, create a turnover off of that, and find the fourth goal. So we just couldn't find the ability to make a play to get ourselves going in the right direction.
Do you have any update on Andre?
I don't. We'll maybe have more for you tomorrow if we practice or the following day.
Why did you decide to scratch Daniel Sprung at the beginning of the game, before the game?
We've got a bunch of guys that are going well, and he was the odd guy out today.
How does losing Andre right at the start of the game impact the rest of the group?
Well, it's not ideal, on a night when you want to get into a good rhythm. It's not ideal to lose, to lose a guy on his very first shift, 20 seconds into the hockey game. But those things happen, and we've been able to adapt and overcome that. And we weren't able to. That's not the reason for tonight. It's not ideal for sure to go down to 11 forwards with 59 minutes to go in the game. But that's not the reason that we couldn't get ourselves going tonight.
Dave, with Andre out, you went to Ryan Donato, a player who you've talked about his versatility before. How did he perform in a different ask than maybe he went into the game thinking he had?
Through the first period, we mixed. We mixed Tanev and him through that point. At that point, we're down by 2. So Ryan probably gives us a little better opportunity to create something offensively and score a goal. That's why we went with him there. We didn't generate a whole lot. So. It's not a night that we're happy with on a lot of different levels.
Dave, Maddie and Jaden came back tonight. What did you think about their performances in their first game?
Well, again, I find it real hard to separate out individual performances out of our team performance tonight. We were off. We were a little bit slow. We weren't as sharp as we wanted to be coming off of the break. And I think everybody is included in that.
How big of a factor was the goaltender for them at their end, and then what do you think of Jonesy's game tonight?
Yeah, I thought they're at their end. We didn't give them a whole lot to do early. Matty had the post. He had the outside of the post. At 0-0. He did a better job. He did a good job in not allowing us to get that spark and not allowing us back into the game in the second half of the game. With Jonesy, he made a lot of good saves there. I said we made a lot of errors that turned into direct opportunities against. That being said, looking back at each individual goal, which probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do right now. The first one's through a lot of traffic and then finds the 5-hole. Maybe the third one off the missed breakout by us is one that is a big save that. We'd like Jonesy to come up with if he can find that puck. But like I said, we're collectively all in this one together tonight.
Ryan thought it was actually a benefit for the Islanders that they were coming off a game last night, that they were able to maybe kind of work out the bye-week rust a little bit. Do you think?
Well, it can play that way. They've got a game under their belt, but the piece of that is for us is take care of this game in the first 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes of the hockey game, and then you know the advantage becomes ours out of energy. But you know we didn't do that. So you know by the time that that could have become a factor, the energy side of it on a back-to-back, you know they had a 4-goal lead.